Okay, I keep getting asked about my worm bag. I'm currently using, and will continue to use, because I'm very happy with it, the Urban Worm Bag from Steve down in Texas. It is 2 feet square bag, and then it's on a stand that's about 30 inches high. It's what's called a continuous flow bag, meaning that the bag, it's really low light in here, sorry. The bag is shaped so that the castings will flow down to the bottom, and I can unclip these clips here, and then there's a Velcro thing, and I can take the finished castings out at the bottom. There. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't have time for a mess. Usually you put a container underneath that bottom part when you're taking out the inch or two of castings that are ready. I'm about there. This bag started in November of last year, which you don't know what day it is today. It's I don't either. It's February 10th, I guess. So yeah, and I started in November of 2023. So yeah, I don't know. I'll do the math and add it down in the comments, or you can add in the comments. Anyway, okay. So I'm doing my feeding. This is today's feeding. It's just a week's leftover of our vegetables from the kitchen, and but there's banana peels in there. It's mostly banana peels. I eat 2 bananas a day, and then it has my tea bags, 1 or 2 tea bags a day, and then anything that goes during the week, which we don't usually have any kind of kitchen waste at all, because we really try to eat everything we can, including the rinds of things. But this week we had a couple of green peppers that we just didn't like. They didn't taste good, so we didn't eat them. And I don't usually put peppers or anything that has any kind of smell in there as food, just because this bag, my worm bag, is inside, because we're in a northern climate where it's cold outside, too cold for a worm bag to be outside. And I do have it in the garage, and I have had my worms in the garage before, and they've done just fine. In fact, my very first 2 bins were Tuppermade, like 5-10 gallon shallow bins that I had really good success with. And I really didn't, I started that way because I didn't want to spend any money on doing something I wasn't sure I was going to love. Turns out I love doing this, so I upgraded to the more expensive but far better Urban Worm Bag. Okay, so it is February, so this is just a week's worth of waste and food, green waste from our house. Because it's February, I'm also getting rid of some of my flour that has past its use-by date, and I'm adding just a little bit of molasses as well into the mix, just because they're not getting as much food as they typically would in the summer months, and they're really starting to get active right now. They're doing a lot of mating. I'm seeing a lot of seeds. And then this is a week's worth of eggshells. I eat 3 eggs a day, and my partner eats 2, so that's 5 boiled eggs a day we eat. And then we just crack the shells into paper towel, put them in this bag, and then once a week I grind them with a mortar and pestle, and I'm not too worried about being perfect about it, but just enough that the worms can digest them. Well, they don't digest them. Worms use them to digest anyway. Okay, so, and then I have a little water that's just been sitting to let the chlorine evaporate from the tap water, and that'll go over the top if we need extra water, which we will. So let's open it up. It has 2 zippers. And I keep a thermometer just to make sure I don't overheat the worms. Not that that's usually a problem, but it can be a problem in the summer months. And then this just flips on back. Then I have a little, just a plastic on the top. That's primarily just to keep the moisture in, because I am inside a furnace room of my house, which can dry out my bin quite a bit. Okay, so it's covered in bedding, and that's just like boxes, shipping boxes that I've shredded up with the crosscut shredder. There's a bag full of those right there. I also have some biochar that I throw in there sometimes. I'll throw in a little today as well. Okay, so that's that. And then, don't really have a good place to put this, but I guess I'll hold it right here. So the center of my worm bin is where I place the new stuff. So the outer side, I push all the older stuff to the outer side, and I'll do that now. So last week I did this exact same thing, so I should find some good food in here. Starting to see some of my worms. They like to be beneath the bedding. Lots of castings, yay, lots of great castings from last week. So I'm just pushing all of this bedding out of the way and creating kind of a well, if you would, for today's feeding. Okay, there's what's left of one of the, can't see where the camera is. That's what's left of one of the banana peels from last week. So they haven't completely eaten everything. Oh my gosh, look at all those worms. Can you see all those worms? Oh my gosh. Yay. They're so happy. These are red wiggler worms. That I got from Meems. There. I'll slow down because my camera can't keep up in this low light. The worms don't like the light, so I try to keep it pretty low. Oh, happy, happy, happy worms. Aren't they cute? They're very happy. Originally I bought Meems' smallest worm amount. I can't remember, it was 3 pounds. This was 2 years ago that I started. Okay, so that's as far as I will dig up. Let me just show you, give a different view. So I've just pulled out and created like a hollow. Okay. Then, and by the way, it smells so good. It doesn't smell like rotting material. It smells like fresh, beautiful soil. Not soil, it's worm poop. Okay, I'd start off with, I'm just going to empty this entire bag of good veggies in there. Okay, that. And then I'm gonna put, sorry, my camera work is making you dizzy. I'm just gonna shake a little of this flour over the top. Not much, just to get the bacteria a little more something to eat. Then I'm gonna get all of the eggshells. Ton of eggshells. about a cup of this biochar. Biochar and eggshells both are good grit for the worms, for their digestion. The flour and the molasses that I'm putting on now are some that I was given. That would have been wasted otherwise, sent to the landfill. It's about a tablespoon total molasses, which you really probably can't see. I should have put it on before the biochar. And it smells like Grandma's cookies. Okay, and then just kind of mix it all together. Flatten it down. I don't really try too hard to mix. Oh yeah, we had a little coriander. What do they call it here? Cilantro. I have a little cilantro that we didn't use. Then I just take these paper towels that we use for the eggs and I cover it all up with just a thick layer. And this is non-bleached, organic paper towels. And primarily, I do this because of it just makes it way less messy dealing with the eggs, shells, and it makes my partner happy when there's less mess. Okay, and then I'm going to water it and cover it back up with bedding. So I do this pretty slow so I don't have water draining right through the system. Because remember, there's a hole in the bottom for you to take finished product out of. So just let it kind of sit in, and then I'll take this bedding. There's some worms in this bedding. Lots of little worm nests in here too. And just cover it up like that. And then I'm just gonna grab a handful or two of new bedding, just until I can't see any dirt, any earth, any brown. Like I said, these are just shredded shipping boxes. If you don't have shipping boxes, which I don't always have them, but if I don't have them, I just go to my local liquor distributor and get some boxes from them. You just make sure you take off all of the plastic shipping labels and all of that, okay? And then just finally, more water. And I'll keep doing this until I've got everything nice and moist. And moist is a very good word when we're talking about my worm bin. I like it to be moist, but not wet, which it is perfect right now. So then after that, I'll just put that plastic sheet back on, spread it out real nice, and then cover the lid, zip it all up. And then I'll just watch the temperature and make sure that it stays really below 90 is what I prefer. But sorry, I'm wearing gloves so I can't focus. Anyway, I think that's enough, 14 and a half minutes. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Happy worming.